Scene 7. It is late afternoon in mid-September. The portieres are open and the table is set for a birthday supper, with cake and flowers. Stella is completing the decorations as Stanley comes in. Stanley: What's all this stuff for? Stella: Honey, it's Blanche's birthday. Stanley: She's here? Stella: In the bathroom. Stanley mimicking: Washing out some things? Stella: I reckon so. Stanley: How long she's been in there? Stella: All afternoon. Stanley mimicking: Soaking in a hot tub? Stella: Yes. Stanley: Temperature 100 on the nose and she soaks herself in the hot tub. Stella: She says it cools her off for the evening. Stanley: And you run out and get her cokes, I suppose, and serve them to Her Majesty in the tub. Stella shrugs. Sit down here a minute. Stella: Stanley, I've got things to do. Stanley: Sit down, I've got the dope on your big sister, Stella. Stella: Stanley, stop picking on Blanche. Stanley: That girl calls me common. Stella: Lately, you have been doing all you can think of to rub her the wrong way, Stanley. And Blanche is sensitive, and you have got to realize that Blanche and I grew up under very different circumstances than you did. Stanley: So I've been told, and told, and told, and told. You know, she's been feeding us a pack of lies here. Stella: No, I don't, and... Stanley: Well, she has, however, but now the cat's out of the bag. I found out some things. Stella: What things? Stanley: Things I already suspected, but now I got proof from the most reliable sources, which I have checked on. Blanche is singing in the bathroom, a saccharine popular ballad which is used contrapuntionally with Stanley's speech. Stella to Stanley: Lower your voice. Stanley: Some canary bird, huh? Stella: Now please tell me quietly what you think you have found out about my sister. Stanley: Line number 1. All this squeamishness she puts on. You should just know the line she's been feeding to Mitch. He thought she had never been more than kissed by a fellow, but Sister Blanche is no lily. Ha! Some lily she is. Stella: What have you heard, and who from? Stanley: Our supply man down the plant has been going through Laurel for years, and he knows all about her, and everybody else in the town of Laurel knows all about her. She is as famous in Laurel as if she was the President of the United States, only she is not respected by any party. This supply man stops at a hotel called the Flamingo. Blanche singing bleachly: Say it's only a paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Stella: What about the Flamingo? Stanley: She stayed there too. Stella: My sister lived at Battle Reef. Stanley: This is after the home place had slipped through her lily white fingers. She moved to the Flamingo, a second-class hotel which has the advantage of not interfering in the private social life of the personalities there. The Flamingo is used to all kinds of goings on, but even the management of the Flamingo was impressed by Dame Blanche. In fact, they were so impressed by Dame Blanche, they requested her to return in her room key for permanently. This happened a couple of weeks before she showed here. Blanche saying, It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Stella: What? Contemptible lies. Stanley. Sure, I can see how you would be upset by this. She pulled the old wool over your eyes as much as Mitch's. Stella. It's pure invention. There's not a word of truth in it, and if I were a man, and this creature had dared to invent such things in my presence. Blanche singing, without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played in a penny arcade. Stanley, honey, I told you, I thoroughly checked on these stories. Now wait till I finish. The trouble with Dame Blanche was that she couldn't put on her act anymore in Laurel. They got wised up after 2 or 3 dates with her, and then they quit. And she goes on to another. The same old lines, same old act, same old hooey. But the town was too small for this to go on forever. And as time went by, she became a town character, regarded as not just different, but downright local nuts. Stella draws back. And for the last year or two, she has been washed up like poison. And that's why she's here this summer, visiting Loyalty, putting on all this act, because she's particularly told by the mayor to get out of the town. Yes, did you know there was an army camp near Laurel, and your sister was one of the places called Out of Bounds? Blanche. It's only a paper moon, just as phony as it can be, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believe in me. Stanley. Well, so much for her being such a refined and particularly type of girl, which brings up to line number 2. Stella. I don't want to hear anymore. Stanley. She's not going back to teach school. In fact, I'm willing to bet you that she never had no idea of returning to Laurel. She didn't resign temporarily from the high school because of her nerves. No, siree, Bob. She didn't. They kicked her out of the high school before the spring term ended, and I have to tell you the reason that step was taken, and I hate to tell you the reason that step was taken. A 17-year-old boy she had gotten mixed up with. Blanche. It's a bedroom and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. In the bathroom, the water goes on loud. Little breathless cries and peals of laughter are heard as if a child were frolicking in the tub. Stella. This is making me sick. Stanley. The boy's dad learned about it and got in touch with the high school superintendent. Boy, oh boy, I would like to have been in that office when Dame Blanche was caught on the carpet. I would like to have seen her trying to squirm out of that one. But they had her on the hook good and proper that time, and she knew that the jig was all up. They told her she better move on to some fresh territory. Yep, it was particularly a town ordinance passed against her. The bathroom door is open, and Blanche thrusts her head out holding a towel about her hair. Blanche. Stella. Stella faintly. Yes, Blanche. Blanche. Give me another bath towel to dry my hair with. I've just washed it. Stella. Yes, Blanche. She crosses in a dazed way from the kitchen to the bathroom door with a towel. Blanche. What's the matter, honey? Stella. Matter? Why? Blanche. You have such a strange expression on your face. Stella. Oh. She tries to laugh. I guess I'm a little tired. Blanche. Why don't you bath too, soon as I get out? Stanley, calling from the kitchen. How soon is that going to be? Blanche. Not so terribly long. Possess your soul impatient. Stanley. It's not my soul I'm worried about. Blanche slams the door. Stanley laughs harshly. Stella comes slowly back into the kitchen. Stanley. Well, what do you think of it? Stella. I don't believe all of those stories, and I think your supply man was mean. and rotten to tell them. It's possible that some of the things he said are partly true, but there are things about my sister I don't approve of. Things that caused sorrow at home. She was always flighty, Stanley. Flighty is the word for it. Is some word for it. Stella. But when she was young, very young, she had an experience that killed her illusions. Stanley. What experience was that? Stella. I mean her marriage. When she was almost a child, she married a boy who wrote poetry. He was extremely good looking. I think Blanche didn't just love him, but worshipped the ground he walked on, adored him, and thought him almost too fine to be human. But then she found out. Stanley. What? Stella. This beautiful and talented young man was a degenerate. Didn't your supply man give you that information? Stanley. All we discussed was recent history. That must have been a pretty long time ago. Stella. Yes, it was a pretty long time ago. Stanley comes up and takes her by the shoulders rather gently. She gently withdraws from him. Automatically, she starts sticking little pink candles in the birthday cake. Stanley. How many candles you putting in that cake? Stella. I will stop at 25. Stanley. Is the company expected? Stella. We asked Mitch to come over for cake and ice cream. Stanley looks a little uncomfortable. He lights a cigarette from the one he has just finished. Stanley. I wouldn't be expecting Mitch over tonight. Stella pauses in her occupation with candles and looks slowly around at Stanley. Stella. Why? Stanley. Mitch is a buddy of mine. We were in the same outfit together, 241st engineers. We worked in the same plant and now on the same bowling team. You think I could face him if... Stella. Stanley Kowalski, did you repeat what that... Stanley. You are goddamn right, I told him. I would have that on my conscience the rest of my life if I knew all that stuff and let my best friend get caught. Stella. Is Mitch through with her? Stanley. Wouldn't you be if... Stella. I said, is Mitch through with her? Blanche's voice is lifted again, sincerely as a bell, serenely as a bell. She sings, but if it wouldn't be make-believe, if you believe in me. Stanley. No, I don't think he's necessarily through with her. Just wise up. Stella. Stanley. She thought Mitch was going to marry her. I was hoping so too. Stanley. Well, he's not going to marry her. Maybe he was. But he's not going to jump in a tank with a school of sharks now. He rises. Blanche, oh Blanche, can I please get in my bathroom? There's a pause. Blanche. Yes, indeed, sir. Can you wait 1 second while I dry? Stanley. Having waited 1 hour, I guess 1 second ought to pass in a hurry. Stella. And she hasn't got her job. Wow, what will she do? Stanley. She's not staying here after Tuesday. You know that, don't you? Just to make sure, I bought her a ticket myself. A bus ticket. Stella. In the first place, Blanche wouldn't go on a bus. Stanley. She will go on a bus and like it. Stella. No, she won't. No, she won't, Stanley. Stanley. She will go, period. P.S. She will go Tuesday. Stella slowly. What will she do? What on earth will she do? Stanley. Her future is mapped out for her. Stella. What do you mean? Blanche sings. Stanley. Hey, canary bird, Toots, get out of the bathroom. Must I speak more plainly? The bathroom door flies open, and Blanche emerges with a gay peal of laughter, but as Stanley crosses past her, a frightened look appears in her face, almost a look of panic. He doesn't look at her, but slams the bathroom door shut as he goes in. Blanche, snatching up a hairbrush. Oh, I feel so good after my long hot bath. I feel so good and cool and rested. Stella, sadly and doubtfully from the kitchen. Do you, Blanche? Blanche, brushing her hair vigorously. Yes, I do. So refreshed. She tinkles her highball glass. A hot bath and a long cold drinks always gives me a brand new outlook on life. She looks through the portieres at Stella, standing between them, and slowly stops brushing. Something has happened. What is it? Stella, turning quietly away. Why? Nothing has happened, Blanche. Blanche, you're lying. Something has. She stares fearfully at Stella, who pretends to be busy at the table. The distant piano goes into a hectic breakdown.